In this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about question pools in Blackboard. This video will be talking a little bit about question pools, what they are, what you can do with them, and then I'm going to talk about the layout, and then the process that's involved in creating a question pool, and then after that I'll go ahead and switch over to the desktop and demonstrate how to create a question pool in Blackboard. So basically, question pools are a collection of questions. Think of them as like a container or a bucket where you go ahead and put in all of your questions. Question pools are a good way to organize your questions. Let's say you have questions on a specific topic, you can create a question pool on that. Or let's say you have a set of questions for, let's say, chapter 1 in a specific book. You can create a question pool for that as well. And with these questions, or these question pools, you can actually reuse these questions in different tests. This is great if you want to, let's say, create a midterm test or a final test that's going to take advantage of questions from different chapters. Another thing that you can do with a question pool is that you can create a random block. Basically what that is that you can create a test that contains a random block which enables every student to have a unique set of questions per person. So in other words, every time a student takes a test or they take it for the second time, they're going to get a different experience because they're going to get a different set of questions. Another way to think of question pools are kind of like test banks. So if you're not familiar with test banks, a lot of textbook publishers, what they like to do is some publishers have a set of pre-made questions which you can use for your own tests. So in a sense, question pools are like personalized test banks. Now in this slide, this is basically a visual overview of what a question pool can be. So in this example, you can say that these blocks right here, let me go ahead and grab the mouse. You can say this right here is a container or a question pool that contains questions for chapter 1. This section has questions for chapter 2. And the same thing for chapter 3. Now, once you have your questions organized into these question pools, then you can go ahead and build a test. You can create a test and then pull questions. You can pull all of the questions from the pool or maybe just some and just pull them over into a blank test so then you can populate it. So then you can populate your test with these questions from these pools. So to create a question pool, it's a two-step process. All we have to do is create the pool, and then we have to populate it with new questions, existing questions, perhaps from like another test, or you can, if you have questions that you can upload, you can also do that as well. Alright, so I've switched over to the desktop, I've opened up Mozilla Firefox, and I've logged into my sample course in Blackboard. So to create a pool, a question pool, what you want to do is get to the test section of your course. So you want to go to the course navigation menu on your left here. I'm going to go ahead and click on I'm going to go ahead and click on Control Panel. Then I'll click on Course Tools, and then I will go ahead and click on Test, Surveys, and Pools. I'll go ahead and close this up for now. So we have our selections. Right now we're interested in creating our question pools, so I'm going to go to the third selection and click on Pools. Here I am in the Pools section, and what you can see is that I have already created some pools in the past. Now in order to create a pool, all you need to do is click on Build Pool on the upper left section of this page here. So I'll go ahead and click on Build Pool, and let's say I'm going to go ahead and create a pool for simple division questions. So let me just go ahead and call this division questions or division. And then I just pressed on enter, or you can click on return and then it'll take you to this section here. Now, okay, so if you're familiar with creating tests, this is going to look very similar to you. So what I'm just going to do right now is I'm just going to create a couple questions. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the footage. so then you can see how this looks like once it ends. So let me go ahead and work on this. All right, so this is basically what the pool will look like. As you can see, I just made a couple of simple multiple choice questions. If I'm happy with this, I can just go ahead and click on OK on the lower right section of the page. If I ever wanted to create some more questions, I can always come back to this. Let me go ahead and click on OK. Now, if let's say I wanted to add some more questions, I can hover over the name here so the chevron pops up. Click on the chevron. You want to click on Edit. And at that point, we can go ahead and create another set of questions. So I'll go ahead and click on that. Speed this up one more time. All right, and as you can see, I've created a new question. So that's how you would go about creating a simple question pool. Now, what you can also do is you can also remove this if you like. I can go ahead and, again, just click on the chevron, click on delete, and it'll go ahead and remove it. If I ever wanted to edit it, click on edit, as I demonstrated earlier. What you can also do is copy it. That will just make a duplicate. So let me go ahead and click on copy. And as you can see, it'll just go ahead and make a duplicate of the questions. I'm going to go ahead and click on this chevron, click on delete because we don't need that right now. I'll go ahead and confirm. Then let's say I want to export this. This is great if, let's say you've created a custom set of questions. Perhaps you're teaching in another campus and they're also using Blackboard. You can export these questions over and put them on a drive or somewhere safe, so if you have another course at another campus, you can go ahead and import this. I'll go ahead and show you how to import one shortly. Okay, so let me go ahead and quickly demonstrate how to export a question pool. So as you can see, you can just hover over the name. I'm going to go ahead and click on export. And as you can see, it's going to want to save it as a zip file. So let me go ahead and close that out. Okay, so another way that we can create a pool is I can actually pull questions from a pre-existing test. So let me go ahead and, let's say I'm going to go ahead and create a new pool. And click on Build Pool. Let's call this division, because I have another test that I created earlier, and we'll just go ahead and pull questions from that. So all I need to do is click on Find Questions, and then we get this little pop-up box here. And so all I need to do is refer to previous tests. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Tests, and let me go ahead and scroll down, look for my division test. So all I need to do is check that off. It's going to display all of the questions that I have created in that test. So if I just wanted to pull one question into the pool that I'm creating right now, I'll go ahead and select that. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and pull all of them out. So I'm going to click on this right here to select them all. And then I'm going to click on Submit. And momentarily, it'll go ahead and add these questions in. So at this point, I've created my pool for these division questions. I'll go ahead and click on OK. And let me go ahead and export these just in case. I'll go ahead and click on OK to save them. And I'm on Windows, so if you're on Windows, more than likely it's going to go ahead and save into your downloads folder. If you're on a Mac, this should also download to a downloads folder on your Mac. Okay, so let's say I accidentally deleted this here, and now I need to import my backup, the one that I just downloaded. So in order to import, all you need to do is click on Import Pool, and I just need to pull this from the downloads folder in my computer. So I'll go ahead and click on Browse My Computer. Let me go ahead and go to Downloads. Here's the pool which I just finished exporting. I'm going to go ahead and click on Open, click on Submit, And as you can see, it's finished. So let me go ahead and click on OK. And we see our division pool has been imported successfully. So this is how we go ahead and create pools. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact us.